Hey everybody, this is Nathan. I wanted to show you a quick tutorial, just a real quick way to take a graphic and paste it on top of another graphic. So like in this week's assignment, you guys were building packaging, and technically you could take the graphic that you created, the flat image, and use Photoshop to drop that flat image onto a 3D object. Or I'm going to use Roger's assignment as an example. He's created a flat graphic that would go on an M&M's like packaging. So how would he do that quickly? That wouldn't take too much time. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you see on the screen is M&M's package. I pulled this off the web. It's a higher resolution image of an M&M's bag. You can see then my layers palette, that right now that layer is a background layer. I need to double click on that and change the name to whatever I want so that I can edit this layer. The lock icon went away. You guys should know all this already, so bear with me. Right now I'm using my magic wand then to select the white area behind the M&M's package, and if we zoom in you can see that not all of the, because it's a JPEG, not all of the information is being picked up. So I'm going to zoom back out, and instead of using the magic wand, I'm going to choose select in the top menu, scroll down to color range, and I'm going to use the eyedropper and see if I can't get as much of that white information selected as possible. So it's kind of tricky because you're going to see that some of the interior areas are going to be picked up and some of them aren't. But that's enough for now. I'm going to choose my lasso tool. I'm going to hold down Option, which is going to allow me to make sure that all of the inside area of that selection is selected as well. And then I can choose my polygonal tool and go along the bottom of the package and just make sure that right there is a clean selection. And the same with the top. I will just real quick make sure that that top area is nice and clean. And now in your layers palette you see that there's that little square with the circle in it. That's your mask icon. Go up to the top, select inverse, and hit the mask icon, and your background goes away. So now we have a checkerboard instead of a white box. That mask will become important in a minute. So let me find Roger's file, and it's right here. I've selected it, and I've opened it up in Photoshop already. So I'm just gonna select all and copy, and then I'm going to paste his graphic, and this is just Control V, paste his graphic into this file. So now I have a layer on top of the background layer, and he's got a vertical thing, so we probably need to increase our, well, let's just do this. I'm going to turn his package over so that it will fit sideways. And let's say I want to see what this looks like inside of the mask that I created for the M&Ms. I just need to click and drag that into the top layer. And now I'm going to scale his, I'm going to hit the unlock key to the mask, and I'm going to scale this graphic of Yosemite Sam up so we can see how the mask does. Right? Alright, so obviously he didn't design this to fit on a M&M's packaging because his design is too wide. So I will scale that back down so the name fits, and I will use my eyedropper tool to select a blue from the background. I'll make a new layer. I'll drop that layer below the original packaging. I'll use my paint can. I will just select that layer, and you can see the whole thing went blue. But if I go to my layers palette and I double click, holding down the command key, and I double click on the mask, I get the mask selection, and I'll choose my blue layer, the blue full package, and now I'm going to mask that. And you can see that I'm getting closer to having a full M&M's package. Now we obviously would need to go in here and clean up that selection. The selection of the M&M's packaging is pretty rough. If I choose the original mask, it would actually be this blue one. And I just go in and clean. Let me see here what's going on with my brushes. Oh, I got an eraser. This was going. Had the wrong tool there selected. I'm going to choose the eraser. I'm in the mask, and I'm trying to mask out some of this blue garbage. Now that's the detail work that you guys have to learn to hit. You've got to learn to get inside the details and make that happen. And then obviously we would want to go and select the Yosemite Sam, get rid of the black line that you see in the top and bottom of this, right? And then for the sake of making it look a little more 3D, I would create a new layer. I would choose my paintbrush. I'd open my swatches palette. Doesn't want to, what did it say? I'm going to choose a light gray. I've got my paintbrush. I'm going to make sure my paintbrush is on a blur brush tip, so it's kind of fuzzy. I'm going to lower the opacity at the top. You can lower the opacity of your brush. I'm going to lower that down to probably about 45%. And I'm on a gray at 45%. I'm going to make my blush mode multiply so that every time I pass over the area, it will make it a little darker. So on my new layer, and I'm going over this once or twice with the gray, and obviously that's not in the mask, but again, all I have to do is hit Command and double click on the, hold down Command, double click on the mask, and it will make that selection. And now I just need to hit the mask layer again, and bam, there's some shading, right? But it still looks kind of crappy. So let's go to blending modes and see what this looks like. When I go to blending modes, I'm going to go to multiply, and now you have some depth on that packaging. Another way to do this, to add some highlights, is to take your paintbrush, choose white, get the right brush size, and then you can do the same kind of thing. Just make some quick marks to, instead of multiply, if you choose overlay or soft light, you'll get these light areas. And then you can also go to blur under filter and hit Gaussian blur, and you can mess with some lighter tones to that packaging. Let's zoom in, you can see a little better. So without it, you have that. With it, you have that. And then you can always repeat this layer. Just copy the layer and move it up and over. Or if you want to make it stronger, you can make it stronger. Transform it to make it longer. And now you have more three-dimensional packaging with just a few strokes, just a few layers. I did this in like 5 minutes. I apologize for my voice. I've got a cold. I did this impromptu. I wasn't really prepared to do it. Hopefully, though, the steps make sense. Make sure you get into the details. This kind of low-res selection elements that you see there is crap. It's not good design, and you would have to go in and tighten up your masks and make sure that your masks were working. A professional example of this then would be the kind of things that we're doing. Do we even have that? Okay, I don't even have that. I'll show you guys that in class we're making some 3D boxes, and we're doing the very same steps I just did on those boxes. Okay, excuse me. If you have questions or concerns, let me know. That is how you can take your flat artwork, drop it on top of a box or a bag, and start to really help your design come to life in a more three-dimensional tone. If you have questions, let me know. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. We got just one more week and a half, so end strong, okay? All right, take care.